recording?
I mean, usually it has to.
Has started. Welcome, everybody, to the Portage Township, August 20th, 2024 board meeting. I will be your facilitator, Lana Cleary, deputy trustee until Jason gets here.
Okay, so I'm gonna call the meeting, August 2024, or August 20th, 2024, Portage Township Board to order. Roll call.
Ryan Hill, secretary.
Muhammad Shabazz, chair.
Lana Cleary, deputy trustee for Jason. He's on his way.
We got the Stackowitz, operations manager, fire territory.
Okay. Did you get a chance to read the minutes?
No, 'cause I got the wrong email and for some reason nothing is coming up. Oh, shoot. That's why. Sorry, laptop's being a little weird here. All right, give me just a moment to move this stuff over so I can take minutes. Since we don't have anyone particularly pressed for time up there.
So say, do we have anybody?
Okay. So Jason's coming.
He'll be here,
Jason's running late.
he'll be here in a few minutes, so.
Okay.
Did you want to, you could still do a motion, couldn't you, to approve the minutes? We can go down so far, I can get so far down again.
I am, waiting on Ryan to glance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me have a look here. Okay, I don't see any needed changes.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept the minute from our July 16th, 2024 regular meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Everybody.
Aye.
So,
Public
We
comment?
also need to approve the agenda for today.
Oh, yeah, approval
right.
of the agenda.
my bad. I make a motion to approve the agenda for August 20th, 2024 meeting.
All right, one second.
Do we have any public comment? I
Those
don't think
not-
we see
okay.
anybody online. I guess not. So first item up is the trustees report on township and otherwise assistance. The month of August obviously grew once again. It's obviously become our busiest month so far in 2024. I do not have the stats that run it with last year's August. We still see a great need for obviously rental assistance and electric. With water probably being second to that right now. Gas, obviously, with it being the summer months, does not have as huge of a deficit as that, so. The Poor Relief, though, it's still doing a pretty good standings. It's still at about half of, halfway through the year.
Sorry, I'm late.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hello.
Got your water.
Thank you.
We were kind of reviewing, we did the, I'll give you a second to
Go ahead.
get yourself together. I don't know if you had a chance to read the minutes.
Yeah, I did. I didn't Have any questions?
Okay, awesome. And I don't know if anybody has any questions about, obviously rainy day funds at about halfway, the budget. For what
Okay,
we
let
have
me
left.
find the page we're
Okay.
on.
I was talking about first, Cheryl, like township assistance. We're at about halfway, we're at the even mark, so we're pretty much on target, and August
Okay.
has proved to be our busiest month so far. Obviously with rental and electric totally being the top requests of the month, and we've been pretty busy out front. So.
I didn't have any questions.
Any other questions? Bond proceeds, obviously that's still running, the rest of that'll be for
Okay,
building, and then admin. Looking pretty, I don't know if there's any questions. The Health First Grant, obviously, we've established a fund for that. We did that a month or two ago. And we've been posting in there, part of our program coordinator, Connor salary, and plus expenses that we've used, including marketing,
I'm just looking to
website.
make sure I'm on the right page.
Yep.
That's
The health grant, yeah.
Okay,
Things like marketing. We also have a lot of, as you guys probably know, buy into ads on WSBT and on Fox, and they have started to run for August and September, and we'll be doing, it'll be kind of minimal, I believe, and I need to verify this with Connor, for October because of the election ads that'll be running, but then it'll go back in full swing for round out the rest of the year. We were working with WSBT for November and December.
Is there any like attempt to measure the impact of the ads? Like if people are people checked how they found out when they about this
When they sign up?
sign up?
Yes,
Yeah.
they are asked. And we've started like kind of conversations as we're in week 5 or 6. Especially people, there's a few that come back week after week and ask what kind of impact it's had on their life. As far as, how is this going, because some of them we have one that brings 3 generations, a little baby that's 1 or 2. She's so adorable. And her mom and her mom. And then there's a mom and a son that have come almost every week.
how old is the son?
The son, and he's very inquisitive. He is probably 7 or 8 years old.
Okay,
Very inquisitive, wants to run up there. And a lot of times it's been with Pastor Ward for most of the classes. So I can speak to him because I've seen him, and he's very engaging with the audience. It's very informative. It's very interactive. People aren't just sitting there boring. They're participating, asking questions, they're giving them feedback. They come up and give us feedback at the end. We have a little survey for them. And it's just awesome. And we encourage people to bring their children, to make sure they sign up so we have a place for them. But if they have a couple, they're like, can we bring my kids? They're like, yeah, because, it's kind of like, families.
yeah, well, and that age of, anything past probably 5
Mhm.
can be interested in cooking. I know the little girl that's like my
100%.
grandchild, she started really being interested about 4 and 5.
Exactly.
And by eight, she understood things.
Exactly. So it's been a lot of fun, especially with that family. And those 2 in particular, I always think of because it's just awesome how like generational come to these classes together and, interact and learn things and talk to us. So,
What, you're doing radio spots, right?
well, we did sign up. Oh, yes. Just so you know, I'll skip around a little if that's okay with everybody to the health grant. Connor, went in and did that interview on the air. I don't know if you know that on the radio a week ago Friday, I think.
Which radio?
WU.
UVU?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we also bought some spots that I believe, and I apologize, I don't have that answer, are going to be running. They sent me an invoice and Connor sent them the content to run those. So we're excited
Okay.
about that. So in addition to, I was telling them the WSBT ones and the Fox ones.
Okay. And what about the Spanish radio station?
That I'll have to check with Connor because I'm not sure how far he's.
Because there are people who listen to the Spanish radio station but speak English.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think we're going to use a little more of the funds for the Health First Grant because we still have a decent amount like in the advertising and marketing to kind of, one other fun thing we're going to do for the rest of the classes is we're going to buy like aprons with the Nourish on it, kind of to give a little more engagement, and maybe
Right.
they'll have to, like, we'll take one a class or 2. And even though, like, in the case of like Pastor Ward, he's very interactive with talking to and asking the class questions, like make it like a trivia thing or something about, and ask who knows the answer to this without, something fun. It could be food, it could be whatever. They get a free apron and it says Nourish on it. So we're working to get those in. So we're kind of excited about that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, the aprons. Could you, go to Walmart or someplace and buy kid aprons for the kids?
Ooh.
Cause I know Walmart
Sure.
carries kid aprons.
I know, but I'm gonna look into that for the aprons as far as getting, so that way, that's an excellent idea.
So
I didn't even think about
it's
that, yeah.
cost wise, it may not be economical to make the aprons like you are gonna make for the
Mhm.
adults.
Mhm.
But at least the kid aprons at Walmart, if I remember right, they're not over $11 or $12.
Right. No, I'm gonna make a note of that, and that's a very
Yeah.
great idea, because that will leave a really big impact on those kids.
That the kids
In a
would
good way.
love them.
Absolutely. 100%. So thank you. Another great idea from you. Thank you. So, yeah, so these are just the funds that we post in there. And we submit monthly, and get reimbursed for all of the expenses
Mhm.
throughout the month, and they're pretty quick turnaround, so.
While you're talking, I'm gonna look up this Hispanic,
Okay. yeah, and I'll
Spanish
get that to
radio
him.
thing and I'll give it to you.
Yeah. So that is the facilities before, because we don't go to resolutions yet. As you know, this building is still going through inspections, so we're hoping to have an update, obviously, by the next meeting. I don't know if we'll have conversations later today about the other building. I know Cheryl, you talked about that. The St. Joe County Fire Territory, not too much of an update, except for tonight is, right, its first board meeting to
First board
elect its
meeting.
officers. And Cheryl, have you met Sam? I don't know if you.
Just now. She let me in.
Sam, it's Cheryl Ash. So Samantha is the operations, what's
Operations support manager.
support, that's where, it is, support manager. I always call her,
So are you the kind of financial person?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll do what I can in the interim.
So we just gonna cut that down and say OSM.
yes. I always just want to call her the operations manager, and I always forget that the word support is in there. So obviously, we're looking into,
So tell me what she does then.
well, she does a lot with the firefighters, everything from their gear to their perf to their, hi,
Hello.
to, do you want to give a little overview on your job to Cheryl and the board?
Sure. So this is Steve Downey, soon to be chief. And I will be working closely with him on the management and operations for the new fire territory. In all the ways necessary.
Yes, and all the operations that make 3 fire stations, right, Steve?
Correct.
So that includes like training, getting into all the platforms, streamlining everything that we do.
Like ordering
Ordering.
and making sure everything's up.
Okay.
So you'll handle their insurance cost and all of those things.
I won't be
Not the
deeply
cost.
involved. in-
Not the cost, of
It'll be
course,
more
but
so
Yeah,
kind of
that
in
would
my
be
world.
the Finance and HR.
I'm more of the day-to-day person.
There's a lot of things just to support the operation you have to do. Could be ordering uniforms is simple, or it could be ordering toilet paper.
Correct.
So it's a pretty wide range of those things.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Nutshell.
are we 2025 financing? Is that where you're at?
The 2025 financing,
Right here? Like
Yes.
right under fire. truck?
well, with that we're gonna be pursuing, obviously, a loan to startup costs, as Steve and Sam and I can tell you, and Jason will be here any minute. Yeah, to support this endeavor. We're still working on that, so.
Yeah.
All right,
Southwest.
Southwest Fire Territory.
Hmm.
I don't think
Well,
there's,
the last meeting was
Address.
canceled, so there's nothing.
They
Phone
canceled the last
number,
They sent an email out.
address, phone number. And it's called Sabatino. Sabatino Radio.
Ain't Felix on that station?
Huh?
Felix is on that station.
I was gonna say, and, yeah.
I think so.
I made a note of that.
Felix Sue Bueno.
Anyways, August meeting for the Southwest Fire Territory is canceled, which I didn't see until I got out there, so that's fun.
Well, I know you were clapping hands.
Just hung out and chat. No, I went out there.
Oh.
'Cause they sent the email late on Monday and I didn't see it. So, but I was just chatting with the firefighters and such. Enjoyed their air conditioning in the meeting room for a minute. It was hot.
So yeah, so I don't have much of that. I will say, if I can move on to real quick, the Health First grant that we were talking about, like during the financial part. They did have a meeting in August, which Connor went to, and the LOI is due for it in the beginning of September with what our vision and goals are, what we'd like to apply for a grant for next year. And
What's LOI?
a letter of intent.
Okay.
So, we started, we met with Robin Vita, who's like our consultant, who used to be with the health department that now works for Oakland. She's excellent, and kind of brainstormed with her and Connor and Jason on what 2025 might look like. And possibly whether that would it would stick with weekly nourish food classes, or would that maybe turn into like where they were done like 4 or 6 times a year, and maybe they'd be 50, or, like in a bigger place, 100, like kind of event, and maybe thinking about looking towards maybe doing kind of that vision of the food truck,
Okay.
which drives around to different parts of the township,
Was the grant,
the original
was
grant.
it, yeah, is it a state grant or?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I'm just, I was just trying to figure out where that was coming from.
It's managed, that flows through the health department.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they're looking for a vision, and they've been talking, kicking it around, and I think they're gonna kind of look into what the cost and that would be about seeing, some kind of bus, maybe out for Nourish, and then what the vision would look like. Would that be like, because we were talking about like, would that be going around to farmers, in the summertime, and kind of, working out, collaborations with them to maybe fresh, which there's a lot of great farmers around, or how does that look, Yes.
Someone I would talk about, and because years ago I used to be on help with the urban garden market,
Mhm.
which was over on Bendix,
Okay.
and it's now basically been moved to help me out, the near north.
Near Northwest?
Yeah,
What? Oh, the farmer's market every Saturday?
yeah.
Is that like the Linden one? Linden.
No,
Avenue?
not
Well,
that.
there's a Linden one and then there's the California Portage one.
Oh, yeah.
But I can tell you that one was founded to bring food into food deserts.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of experience in working with farmers.
And I am of the, and even though that this is not, I have some input into it. I strongly believe we work with the farmers, not that anybody,
Right.
in this office objects to that. Because I feel like, that's part of the thing about eating healthy and learning to cook. You're not going to sort of process things that you can either
Right.
just throw together, even though it's kind of you want to see where and especially with the children up through their parents,
Yeah.
learning where food comes from
Right.
and how to
I can tell you it's very difficult to find farmers.
buy bad.
I mean, everybody is vying for farmers to have at their farmers market.
And I don't know, because Connor's developed kind of a strong relationship with Unity Gardens, and they have a lot of farmers that bring in stuff, to
Yeah.
them, and maybe that's a route to pursue.
Yeah.
But, part of this grant, especially for this year, and I would assume it's going forward, is, eating healthy is also for disease prevention.
Right.
Well, disease prevention comes from unprocessed food.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the only way you really counteract lead poisoning in children.
Exactly.
Right.
So that would be part of my goal. I mean, I'm just
Right.
throwing that around that. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you the problem we ran into, and it took us a while to get it, is you've got to be able to accept food stamps.
yes.
Okay.
Like they do at, the farmer's market, I've noticed the last several years, they do.
Yes. But I'm saying when we
Mhm.
started off,
Mhm.
that was a big issue for getting what I would call low income to working
Yeah.
class,
Because what
is
you
we
could
didn't accept food stamps.
No, because you never take food stamps to low income to 7-Eleven and buy a bunch of candy and
Right.
bread. It wasn't at the time, back in the day, to purchase, real food.
And
Oh, yeah.
also,
I agree with you.
so I mean, if you decide to do anything like that, you gotta start early with the,
Yeah, so I think that's part of the vision. I don't think we're like in the planning stages of that, but you know, how that's all gonna flesh out, you know, that remains to be seen, but it's really exciting. And like I said,
Yeah.
Nourish in general is just, it's been awesome. I mean, there's a lot of buzz around it, I'd say, so.
Mhm. The other thing I would like to see is, if we do the next time,
Mhm,
do cookbooks, because they make, soul food cookbooks,
mhm,
okay, that are healthy soul food cookbooks.
mhm.
They also make Hispanic, hey,
Hey, what up?
they also make Hispanic cookbooks
Exactly.
that are, you know, what they call healthy.
Mhm,
And it would be good to give those out.
mhm.
And I did that at the library. Some of my programs I had someone come in and they demonstrated and talked about how to cook soul food healthy. And then I had someone come in and did the same thing about traditional
Latino food and
Spanish
that, yeah.
dishes, right?
Now
And
we-
then I gave them a cookbook. Now, at the time, I got the cookbook free from the federal government, but
Oh,
I,
nice.
okay, I think some came from the cancer, whatever cancer agency there is for the federal government. And the Institute of Cancer, whatever. And I don't remember where I got the Hispanic ones from.
So now also on the Nourish website, which I haven't been there in a while to see, there is a cookbook section to submit your recipes to. And I think that's something we've been a little, not us, I don't know if that would be the right word, but lax on kind of hyping to encourage people. You know, you have an old recipe from your grandma, you know, back in the day, whenever you cooked healthy or, you know, did this.
Like
Hot
the
stew.
Mainlanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, are
Back
you,
when, back when food was healthy and you didn't have to buy organic because real food was
right.
healthy, including the meat.
But are
that's
you-
my opinion.
Are you looking at those recipes? Because some of those recipes, like the traditional soul food recipes,
Mhm.
are not healthy.
No, they're
If
not.
you use the ones that your grandmother used,
Absolutely. The key is to, because everything in this world can be transitioned in this day and age, to healthy soul food, Latino food,
yeah.
you know.
So that's why I guess I'm asking, are y'all gonna kind of, I hate to say censor the recipes, but when someone gives you a recipe that has fat
Right.
back, are you gonna put that recipe in?
Exactly. Well, no, Cheryl, not because you're gonna be like that. No, I'm not gonna let it happen. But yeah, no, that is the goal behind it. So yeah, absolutely so that's kind of the report on that. And I apologize. I just realized looking at the agenda that we need to bounce back to Cedar Glen for a moment. So I popped onto sorry about that, Mr. President. I know, I was like,
Made it very far.
not too bad. I'm almost done with business. I know, all of a sudden,
Has school
my
started?
eyes went to the health grant first and I was like, off to the races. So today we had a press conference
Mhm.
here, had the news media here.
I didn't see the press conference, but I did read the story on WNDU and WSBT. But I didn't hit the play button. I just read it.
Well, I got notices that people are sharing it on Nextdoor.
Oh, wow. Feedback?
I didn't have a chance.
Be ready for you getting calls from
I didn't-
people.
We prepped the whole staff about that all.
Yeah, I
day.
know you're gonna get calls with
Our
people.
biggest issue really is people sort of, the media especially, they want to emphasize the restitution amount.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of work for me to say, that's not what this was about. That was an also and.
Yeah.
It was really just a measure of accountability, but the media really hypes on. So we had to make that, even for us, we
Yeah.
forgot to make it clear that was technically for 1 month. That was just for January of this. $10,600 was just for January because that was the month that we could prove.
Right,
We can't go back 2 years and prove it.
true.
So unfortunately, that was my only little disappointment is
Yeah.
people seem a little
Seems like
emphasized on the
and how
money.
much did,
Yeah.
yeah.
If
you- not about
You know,
money.
If you go read the comments, you can tell.
and,
And we were hearing that week for weeks, so it wasn't a
Yeah.
terrible surprise.
But like I said, you're gonna get calls when winter comes from other people whose landlords aren't giving them
Already have,
keys.
man. Already
I
have.
told you, I got a call from someone and I was like, no, you don't qualify.
Because under state, it's not, heat isn't guaranteed, but hot water.
No, heat is.
Heat is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heat and hot water are specifically mentioned in the statute. That's what you're remembering.
Yeah. Is that something that can be put on the website if you're having these issues?
We can put that on there, yeah.
I
I mean, if
mean-
you guys want us to,
Heading it off at the
Keep
pass
doing
a
that.
bit, so.
I
it's not
agree
like
with him.
My sidewalk is off, like that doesn't qualify, but.
Yeah.
we'll put it on
these
there.
Issues are things that if you're having problems.
Even when we were going through this, people were like, well, my cupboard, they haven't fixed it. The lights went out. I mean, it's very common. And we're like, so we've also been referring people to code enforcement. Like, those code enforcement issues, they're set up to fine for that, but, yeah, we can get something on the website.
I think that would help because as I
At
told you,
least we could point to it and say,
Well, just being clear so people know, like, in a certain situation, like, no, your landlord is actually breaking the law, so.
yeah, but also I told you, the person who called me, I explained to him that, the fact that the heat is controlled for the whole building, which have 4 apartments, and the person turns the heat down when they go to bed. And I said to him, what you're gonna have to do is go get a thermostat and start recording what the temperature is when you get off work at 1 o'clock. I said, and then you need to take that up with your landlord, and if they don't do anything, then go talk to code enforcement. But when you look at the statute, it doesn't tell you what temperature. When it says heat, it doesn't say what the temperature of the heat has to be.
sure.
And that's one of the problems, because I guess this person's heat was 65, you know what I mean, in the middle of the night. And I said, well, you can try, but because I looked up the law doesn't say what the heat has to be. It just says adequate heat.
Is there any issue like with county, like outside the city limits about? Because I'm thinking about that and it's always an issue, right? People think it's the same rules everywhere. So like city code enforcement is gonna have different requirements. Like, is there anything for county?
They
Yeah.
just started a code enforcement.
Okay, but I mean, it's still something like, again, anytime you can pierce the information bubble for people and like, hey, this is, this is who you call for this issue.
Certainly. As far as I know, the county folks do not like that having code enforcement out there.
No, they don't.
They don't like it.
We try not to, we do what you're saying, we do all the time, refer people to other places. I sort of hate it because I hate bouncing people around, but we just don't have a choice and sometimes. like
Well,
you
but
said.
people knowing where the laws are that they're looking at, right? That's important. And it's not passing people off if it's like, here is who you call and deal with, because that's the legal responsibility. But it's different from, oh, it's not our problem. That's
Sure.
We're connecting you with who you need to. And that approach is important.
Yeah, I think it would be useful if it's a city law or a county law, and definitely the state law,
Here's the
to
mayor thing.
include the part where it says you have to have adequate heat and whatever. Now, I can tell you, when I looked it up, HUD either considers it 67 or 68, and the United Nations either considered it 67 or 68. They actually HUD puts, they actually tell you what they considered adequate heat.
Wow.
And so does the United Nations tell you what they consider adequate heat.
Well, we'll keep you guys apprised, but it's a chapter that we feel like was a success for Team Portage Township.
I see you, put community on the agenda. What, did you have something you want?
I don't have anything there. It's just a standing item. I like to leave them there. As a reminder.
All right, new business.
So, we got about 30 minutes here before our next meeting. Should be enough time to get through this stuff. None of this is a surprise for you guys. So to start out with the creation of the fire territory funds, especially the operating fund, we have expenses that we need to attribute to that fire fund. So the cleanest way to do that is to go ahead and transfer money from the township reserves to that fund. So what the resolution 19-2024 is a resolution transferring a nice round number of $100,000 to that territory fund, which would then be paid back to the township when the fire funds are acquired. Rather than us keeping a spreadsheet, separate spreadsheet, tracking expenses, parceling them out, it's all right here in the system, in the board reports, everything under the fire fund from this date to this date was basically it's just $100,000. The $100,000 will have to be paid back to the township. It's a nice round number. So that is what that is about. It's a $100,000 transfer.
Do we need to vote on? I know we got to vote on it. So should we offer, Time to vote now?
Yeah, we would ask for the board's consideration, yeah.
Hold on, so I just wanna make sure I'm understanding 22 here. So it's saying that an emergency is declared to exist, and that just means the requirement to establish the territory?
That's what allows us to transfer the money. That's the code that Alex is doing this under. That when you declare, because you could do this at any time. You could do this 3 years from now and just the territory is running out of money and we need to transfer money over, that's the emergency. So an emergency exists.
My brain's not following this for some reason. It's saying up here that it needs to be paid by year end, which would be 2024. So getting an extension of payment through 2025, June 30th. Okay, I think I see that now.
Did you talk 2025 financing before I came here?
We kind of
Oh,
skipped
yes,
it.
the fire attention, yeah.
Oh, Brian said you skipped.
I mean, you mentioned it and said the
Oh,
loan
yeah.
is needed, but we
A
don't.
$4 million loan is going to be needed to fund fire operations for the year. When we go get that loan, like an actual loan from an actual bank, we'll pay this $100,000 back with it. So
Okay,
that will go away. So that will probably be in January.
Okay, so the loan will probably be taken out in January.
Which loan?
The
The
$4
$4
million.
million.
Yes.
Okay. And I think that's why we were trying to figure out what was going on with the fire terror at Southwest before they decided to not meet.
Well, we just can't, we don't know how much we're gonna get from them and we can't
Yeah.
depend on it.
Right.
And we're still going to need millions of dollars that we won't have until the levy comes in. But that will be nice when that check comes. It will be helpful to know, it'll just be helpful to know the amount of the check.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
You could even consider if you get that check, paid back that 100,000 right even this year.
If we, I have no confidence that we're going to get it this year,
Agreed,
but
but
I
I'm
agree.
just saying
Yeah,
if they
you're
do
right.
the thing and gave
No,
it
you're
to you in
right.
December,
100%
you
right.
could clean out the books.
And then that way of making you clean and just go. with
All of
it.
this year and
This is
go
well,
forward.
when you guys
It would
were
be
ready to
nice,
vote on
yeah.
it.
And that 100,000 is basically focused on paying the initial salaries and
Yeah, I mean, we've got a
Uniform.
retrofit, we gotta go buy uniforms, we gotta, engine 41 is gonna need new hoses, that kind of stuff. But yes,
is there a chance we'll need to do more than that?
I don't think so. Any bigger expenses would be delayed. This is gonna pay for, like you said, staffing,
The
software. We
utilities,
shouldn't have any of that until January, because then we
Okay.
officially take over. It's more staffing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'm fine with it.
okay,
I'll
so,
make a motion on resolution number 19-2024.
I second.
All in favor?
Cheryl, yeah,
Ryan, yes.
Thank you. Just as a note, this is a fund that will now show up in your budget reports
Okay.
every month.
okay,
Every meeting, you're going to see that 100,000.
And expenses
is
are
where
there,
it
yeah.
is, yeah. So then 2020-2024,
mhm,
this one is looking at the parcels that are just north of the Real Services Building.
right,
If the township is going to explore the idea of perhaps building a senior community center there at some point. Just like with this building, the very first step in that would be for the board to
okay.
authorize the office to order appraisal for that,
So this is on the south side, right?
Yeah.
north.
Which real services
What
building?
real services?
are we talking
South, southeast,
Yeah.
south.
Oh,
Yeah,
southeast.
across the street from the
Southeast.
fire department, right?
Yeah, oh, that's on south? Okay, yeah, I guess I'm all mixed up.
That's okay.
Either way, I mean, the parcels are correct in
I mean, if you're coming from Indianapolis, yeah, it'd be north of you.
here.
But
Yeah.
you're
I'm just
Cardinal
giving you an excuse,
But
you
it's,
know,
it's
you know.
kinda, yeah, it's kind of.
I guess I thought it was on the other side of the parking lot.
Real services is on the corner. Look at the street there.
Yeah, that's
There's no
right.
parcel next to it.
Yeah, so
So
it's,
south of it is Sherwin-Williams building.
It's
Are you talking
actually,
about the old Sherwin-Williams?
No.
no,
So it'd be north of the Real Services building.
that's what I said. I was like, it's north of the parking lot.
I was just talking about the side of the house.
location, yeah, I was too.
Yeah.
My bad.
Muhammad and I were on
I
the
was like,
side of
okay,
town.
I guess I'm wrong, but I was like, no, these are on the north side of the building.
It's on the north,
They're
west
north of the
side.
parking lot. Yeah.
northwest.
There's 6 parcels there, 3 of them are already owned by Real Services, and these are for the other 3 where that liquor store used to
But
be.
they're actually on the street.
So they.
Okay,
so the liquor
that
store is
strip
not there
mall?
anymore?
Yes,
So that's not
Okay.
there anymore.
correct. That's
Where
the guy
Boring
who had
Plaza used
the
to be.
payroll issues and he
The
got
liquor
a
store.
$750,000 fine.
Yes, where that strip mall was
Yeah.
between Maine and Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
And
So this would be just paying for the
Yeah.
appraisals. Yeah. And then those have to be presented to the board within 30 days.
It's 2 appraisals? I thought it was 3.
Always 2. Yeah.
those two.
So basically, it's kind of like we did with here, looking at it, the property,
Just finding out how much it would be worth.
yeah, what it's worth and all that
We
kind of
don't have to start there if we were to negotiate a purchase. It's just, this is.
idea. Okay.
Okay. Everybody good?
Mhm.
I'll make a motion on resolution 2020-24.
I will second.
All in favor?
Cheryl is.
Thank you. Cheryl, just as a note, and we can follow up more on this, that does not stop. Your errant comment, we kind of have run with it, and we are going to be meeting with Carla, and discussing possibly if the board wants to turn 133 North William into a senior community center in the meantime.
Okay,
We're gonna go do a walkthrough with her.
okay,
We would see how much it would cost to renovate it, because even if the board decided to move forward with a new center,
That'll be a lot.
this would be years away.
okay,
We could
gotcha.
probably do something now.
Right, okay.
But that was all your kind of comment that we were like.
Yeah.
That's actually a great idea. So,
Mhm.
in the meantime, if nothing else, until we decide what you want to do with it, but those would all be board decisions. So we are going to explore that. And I'll
Okay.
report back. Appointment to St. Joe County Fire Territory. I think I've chatted with you guys about this one. Our current fire territory appointment, citizen appointment is Buddy Kersitz, former Southland council member and former fire captain, fire chief of Penn Township and such. And he would be honored to serve on the new fire territory. For this first year, Portage Township appoints a 5th board member.
Right.
And the next year, Warren Township
Okay.
would appoint the 5th member. So this would be that 5th member.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? We have 2 appointments to make. I apologize. You have that resident to appointment, and then a board member needs to be appointed. So I would ask that it be clarified that this is appointments. to the fire.
Hey, watch.
Well,
It won't be as bad as going to center.
Well, maybe you start with the board appointment. Start that fight.
I vote that we appoint Ryan. There's no reason in breaking.
Nomination
That's not
is
broke.
on the floor.
Yeah.
And I second that nomination.
There we go, there we go.
Making
You
a
know.
note here. All
That
in
was
favor?
real easy.
I put both hands up.
Hey, he voted for it.
I'm abstaining.
Oh, you want to put that in here?
It won't be as bad. Watch this. We promise you, it will not be as bad
Steve will
as
tell you
Center
it's not.
Township.
No.
We promise.
If you want to make a note, Ryan, for your file, the address is 25711, that you know, on Grant Road,
On what road?
Grant Road, behind the South.
You gotta drive a little farther.
Behind
Do you
what?
guys want to real
South of
quick
the
sign
street.
all 3,
Yeah.
switch the minutes and the other 2 resolutions, please and thank you. Thank you.
It doesn't show up in Google yet.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me.
Samantha,
Google twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
after I had my
Um,
breakdown.
Would be Buddy Kersitz if the board wanted to appoint him as the resident for the rest of this year.
Well,
I'll nominate
He
Buddy.
has the experience. I don't see why everybody would be against that.
No,
Ryan made the nomination. I second Buddy's nomination.
Cheryl said yes.
All right, so Buddy is our.
Okay, thank you. This number D here, item community services agreement, YSB. This is again, one of those dubious areas in the law that we just prefer that the board, review and give its up or down. We shared information about this via email, and this is the Youth Services Bureau. They put in they're gonna actually be able to house and shelter at-risk youth, foster children, this kind of stuff at their new facility out there. We did a tour of it. It's amazing. I'm really just.
Where is
McKinley and Hickory
By
area.
the old Target on McKinley.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Building going
Not
on.
throwing them under the bus, but I marveled that they're doing essentially what the New Day Intake Center wants to do, but without the drama. There's no drama. But, so yeah, they requested, additional support to finish out the building there. And, they have a big dedication ceremony that all sponsors would be invited to. So they asked if you have the copy of the benefits agreement. We would ask for the board's up or down vote on it. As you see, I haven't signed it.
I don't
I
have
vote
any-
yes. I give my vote.
So go ahead and make a motion.
We don't have to.
Oh, we don't?
This-
Okay,
I would
good.
prefer you do.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept the community service agreement with Blue Services Bureau.
I second.
All in favor?
Thank
What-
you.
What are we doing with that?
Cutting the check for 10 grand
Just paying.
for the shelter portions.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have to sign anything? Nope. I hate to leave you, but I have to go to that police, citizen, whatever.
You think of something between now and September about the budget, let me know.
No, I just want to let you know, Regina and I have talked.
How did that go?
Pretty good. I actually gave her some more ideas. I'll tell you what,
Okay.
we kind of,
'Cause we kind of secretly loved that you were putting the brakes on. A little bit.
so I'll send everybody kind of what our conversation ended up being.
Okay,
Okay.
the board, the budget, is advertised at a high amount. And we remember, we're doing an excess levy appeal.
Yeah,
So all that, we won't know till the end of this year, because it's advertised high, the board can do anything they want below that number, it can be
Okay.
cut, you can move money around. It's
Okay.
advertised as high,
okay.
that was my
We're gonna
note
say
before you have
prayers.
to run.
So when does the fire territory meet? Do they meet on the same days as we do? But
We don't have a regular meeting schedule yet, tonight is the first meeting, but your budget, oh, you know what? Lana, on
Yes.
my credenza.
Mhm.
is
I have to go, I'm on the police review
Thank you.
board or whatever it is, and we're required to go to the police citizens academy.
So what you have here is what is publicly advertised. What we review, because this is all, as you, I'm not trying to down, but this is confusing. This is all state board of accounts really cares about. They also care about your account totals. But basically, the township, everything the township does within that is for our own tracking purposes. So Lana, I've got it printed out, what I sent you is our detailed budget. That's just for tracking purposes. This is what gets advertised. So as you can see, it's got the new fire territory fund in there. Our excess levy appeal is noted in here. And our final budget amounts are all around there. Lana's gonna grab if there was any, but basically this is the moment that, if the board wants any discussion, these kind of things, but this is also the public hearing. So if any public members here wish to speak about the budget, this is their opportunity. September 9th is the adoption meeting. The public would not have the opportunity to weigh in at that meeting.
What do you want to make a
I know
motion?
it's like they want to see it. And maybe good ones.
Oh, I've already seen it.
Already?
And Steve is here if there's a fire related budget questions. Well, nothing's changed since you guys have seen it.
Just sign if you need for reference.
Sure.
So, okay, the thing that doesn't seem to show on here is last year's, like prior budget.
In the first column, that will not show that, no.
Yeah.
That is this year's order. What I gave you here does. So they don't do comparison.
Okay. I was gonna say, it's probably reasonable to have in the minutes and notes some of your just thoughts and justifications for expanding the,
We're gonna add in, you actually gave me some notes on that already, Ryan. That'll be added in here, salaries, what else do we have? I've got a list, that's gonna be all added into the packet.
well, with the almost doubling the assistance appropriation, like you had some good points as to why, and those should actually be listed out.
Okay, they're also included in our excess levy appeal, that's all part of the
Okay.
package that gets sent down there, that's being put together for that. We had to get, estimates on the cemetery for maintenance, for upkeep, that's all gonna be included in there as well. Let me see here what else. Those are the big ones, really, was that assistance piece. Those are our reporting numbers.
Yeah,
We would pass the salary ordinance on September 9th as well. That would include fire salaries.
So right now, this is just public hearing right now.
This is a public hearing, but board is welcome to discuss. One thing that Ryan and I talked about was elected official pay. So noting on here that it was increased by 4%. And I don't want to speak for Ryan, but that was something we discussed at length. And, you know, the board, I'm happy to weigh in on, what's not a hill I was willing to die on.
Man, I haven't had someone make that joke. I mean, my issue was like, we did a lot last year to boost the elected salaries and others to get them up to closer to par. I just think we should, it's reasonable, just take a bit of a break on the elected increases. And we've got a lot to talk about with the fire salaries as well, like how quickly we're gonna hire everyone in for that, if we're going to need that full budget right away. How to kind of handle that with, you know, that kind of jump in pays. So,
This is the board decision. So what I told Ryan was, I agreed that my initial run of the budget did not have an increase for the elected officials. But in my head, this is the year that the responsibilities are increasing greatly. That had me put it in there, but then also I didn't know how we would justify it in the future. So I thought maybe moving forward, it would just be this set amount. And so if we don't do it this year and we do it next year, what was our justification? That's what led for me to put it in the proposed budget. But if the board wanted it removed, then that's the decision. No hard feelings.
I'm waiting on some public people.
There's no public here.
I love these public comments.
I'll take you to a council meeting.
So there's no action to be, you know, there's no action you have to take now.
Right.
The action would be September 9th, but if you want action before then, you know, the board would have to provide that direction. So we can close the hearing whenever you guys are ready. I mean, that's up to you, or further discussion, or.
Oh, you mean, well, we can close it here.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I moved that we adjourn this meeting. But since we're at the tail end, wait a minute.
We
is
get
there
to close
anything-
this one up first, right?
Well, we don't have any other items, so unless there are other business that the board would like to discuss.
Y'all want to discuss something else?
I think so.
I move to adjourn our meeting for Portage Township on August 20th, 2024.
Okay.
Are we doing the fire meeting in here?
Yeah, is that okay?
There's two more people coming.
Yeah, I'll be gone.
Mom is leaving.
Oh, okay. I figured
Cheryl
you want to
doesn't
stick
be here.
around.
That's
Y'all
fine.
nominate me.